Hello, Solovita. This is Gary Matico again, candidate for the HOA board in February of 2026. What a beautiful day we have here in our beautiful community. I want to go into a little bit more detail about my experience on the election committee because I'm proud of the work that the committee did and the people that I worked with to make a long-lasting change to the Solovita election process. We came up with some guiding principles that we incorporated into our work. We wanted to maximize election integrity, demand ethical behavior, ensure ballot security and secrecy, avoid conflicts of interest, ensure we had independent review of results, all while minimizing election expenses. So we developed a process that met all the requirements of Florida Statute 720 in our governing documents. It incorporated these guiding principles. It was flexible and it could be used without annual revisions. And it clearly defined all the roles and responsibilities of the organizations and committees involved in our elections. And very importantly, it addressed all of the election integrity problems associated with the 2024 and 2025 elections. We spent a lot of time on this process. We incorporated a lot of edits and comments into it, and everybody was happy by the end of October, and we submitted it to our liaison, Carl Warren, who's the president of the HOA. Unfortunately, after receiving maybe 3 comments, most of which were editorial, to the process from the board, and after being given false hope that the process document was going to be placed on the agenda and voted on and approved, we were relieved of our duties. And at that time, Carl Warren took over as the sole self-appointed one-man election committee. And everything that was done on our election process was done by him independently without any peer review or anybody's review. So where did we end up? We ended up at the December board meeting where his election process was approved 4-0. And it was supposedly reviewed and approved by the attorney. After reviewing that document, I identified a fatal flaw, an actual violation of Florida Statute 720, where Carl Warren wrote a requirement that prohibited homeowners from showing up at the annual meeting and voting in person. Clear violation of 720. His requirement that was reviewed by 4 other board members and an attorney, and nobody caught it as a violation of 720, would have prohibited a homeowner from showing up to vote in person at the annual board meeting, or I'm sorry, the annual members meeting, if they had registered for electronic voting. The attorney subsequently agreed that that violated 720 and directed Mr. Warren to to revise the process to remove that violation in January of 2026. So I question the reviews that were done by the other board members. Were they thorough? Why didn't anybody else catch that? I question the reviews that were done by the attorney. Are they really putting in the effort to carry out their responsibilities as a board member? I also question the unethical behavior of 2 of the current board members who, at the time they voted on that process document, had already submitted their candidacy applications to run again in this upcoming election. I personally removed myself from the election committee when I decided to run for the board. That's the ethical thing to do. Solovita, I promise you that I will carry out my duties as a board member in an honest manner with full integrity, in an open manner with full transparency, in a professional manner, and most certainly at all times, I will show you ethical behavior and how all board members should carry out their duties please consider voting for permanent change in Solivita. Vote for me, Gary Matico, in February of 2026.